Hey guys, yeah, if I seem a little, out of it a bit, or a little bit like lethargic or down, I got my booster yesterday. By the time you watch this, of course, I'm recording this on the 21st of December, 10 days before you watch it. But yeah, if it seems I'm a little out of it, it's because, like I said, I got my booster yesterday at Rite Aid, so I'm pretty much, boosted up, as they would say. I mean, yeah, they say give it about 10, give it 2 weeks, but I think I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be fine. I mean, I'm already feeling better. It's just I'm still a little tired, because of the fact that it takes a lot out of you. But anyway, let's talk about the number one, in my opinion, controversial thing to come out of 2021. Of course, yes, of course, in the previous one we talked about the coup, the attempted coup on January 6th, the insurrection kind of deal, whatever. And I gave my opinion on how I believe that shouldn't have been. That they basically could have gone with other measures, if you know what I mean. But speaking of that, I think everybody would agree that the number one controversial thing of 2021 is what came out of the previous year and is still being felt to this day, and that is the fact that the 2020 election, which gave President Biden his term, was stolen, rigged, if you will, basically put into controversy to the point that there are certain, elements of the law of the government, federal, state, whatever, that should be looking into it, should be, looking into every nook, nook and cranny, every nook and cranny, and they're not really doing that. So yeah, the election which gave Biden his term is, in my opinion, the number one controversial thing. In my opinion, number one controversial thing of 2021, because it's still being felt to this day, and even as we speak, it may not be as notable as a lot of people, putting out to be. But there are still a lot of places that are investigating, state by state, regionally, locally, federal wise. Everybody is still looking into, what they believe, could, basically overturn the election, or at least overturn the results. And I know a lot of people would say that's not possible. It's done. Once it's done, it's done. And, that's totally true. But we, if there's anything we have learned throughout the history of politics, is that there's always that one little caveat that we don't know about that gets pulled out when you least expect it. That one little loophole. And for all we know, that loophole, that little caveat, could be pulled out at any time. But like I said, even to this day, a lot of places may, maybe, they may not be, newsworthy, even though they should be mentioned on the news. I think Newsmax and others like them are talking about them to an extent. Basically, there are, some places still looking into trying to overturn the results. And the reason the election is looked at, in my opinion, as the most controversial thing of this year is the fact that everybody still looks at the fact that on no but the fact basically that they look at November 7th of 2020 and how basically nothing was essentially, resolved, that night, and that we had to wait until this new year to pretty much get the end result. And even still, there are people that felt that, with all that extra time and stuff given, that it was still rigged. And there's a lot of people that point out, visual evidence of what they saw. They would say they saw people going out of ballot areas across the country, certain parts of the country, and dumping trash bags full of ballots, all that, all which had Donald Trump, DT, if you will, checked off as getting another term. More so, as some people put it, than what Biden got. So there's a lot of stuff out there, even to this day, that people are looking into to try to basically overturn these results. And even if they don't, the one thing people are looking forward to next year in the 2022 election that focuses more on state governments, state governors and all that, and mostly the Senate and the House, is the projection that the Republicans are going to take control. and that once that happens, pretty much Biden and Harris's term, and even to an extent Pelosi's term, are going to come to an end, because there is no doubt, as a lot of people have said, that the Republicans are going to start impeachment processes once they get control on Biden, on Harris, and maybe to an extent Pelosi, just to get them out of office, so that we don't have them there anymore, because they feel that they know of something. At least Pelosi does, maybe Harris does, knows of the fact that we had the election taken from us. So when I look back at this year, to me, and I know I'm not alone in this, the most controversial thing, in my opinion, of 2021 is the election, being rigged and stolen. And again, there's a lot of people that will point out visual evidence that they saw that proves that. And even to this day, like I said, there are people that are trying their best, maybe not making the news as much as they used to, but are trying their best to overturn these results, or at least prove that we had the election stolen, and that the next presidential election needs to be more guardly, um, guardly looked at. Basically, make sure that nobody screws up anything or tries to, fiddle or mess up things just to get what they want over what truly would be. But that's about it, guys. That's about it. That is basically my number one choice, controversy in 2021. But what do you guys think? Out of all the five you've seen, including this one, which one do you think was the most, controversial out of the five? Or what do you feel is your most controversial? Let me know in the comments, as well as in the live chat during the premiere. Like the video, check out the Teespring store as you go into 2022. Also, check me out at BW Rose's Discussions. By this time, I should be at 300 podcasts, but check that out. Listener support has also been activated if you're listening on Anchor.fm. And if you're listening on the various podcast affiliates like Spotify, video is also available as well. So check those out. Check out me at BW Roses on VENMO. Check me out at patreon.com/BW Roses at a $1, $3 tier. And also check me out at Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys, and have a safe and happy 2022.